I love you so much, baby. Happy Valentine's Day.
Hey, we're trying to record a show here.
Oh, oops. Excuse me there.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Cowboy Logic. This is a very special Happy Valentine's Day edition that you're seeing a week late.
I'm all messed up here.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Woo.
Well,
that was pretty hot, Donna. I got to be honest.
Not bad considering, that we're not newlyweds.
We're not, given the fact that we both have Medicare cards now.
Yes. I admit it. Don's got his Medicare now, too.
That's right.
Hey, I just want to say the word of the day again, and it's been happening more and more lately, is chutzpah. Okay? You folks from New York know what that means. You don't even have to be Jewish to know what that means. It's chutzpah. The unmitigated gall of that jerk up in Minnesota, Tim Walz. Okay, so what happens now is by the time you're seeing this, most of ICE has kind of left Minneapolis. And people are saying, see, we pushed you out. You're out of here, blah, blah, blah. You're a bunch of commies and Nazis, the whole nine thing. Well, so Tom Homan respectfully says, well, Tim Walz and Fry, the mayor, worked with us. And so they actually did open their jails and gave them some of the criminals that were already there. In fact, nobody's talking about this. Tom Homan found 3,300 kids that were missing just in that area alone. 3,300. And what does Walz do? He comes right back and goes, well, the federal government messed everything up, so they better pay for it. Well, you know what? $60 million was spent in Minneapolis.
Your organization specializes in following nonprofit funding and organizational networks. So based on your research, what organizations have been active on the ground in Minnesota? What can you tell us?
Yes, we have tracked over $60 million, according to the latest 990 disclosures, to approximately 14 groups, some of them national, others on the ground. Groups like the ACLU provide the legal defense, as well as facilitate the trainings for some of the tactics that Senator Corrin just described. A group named Democracy Forward. Take Action Minnesota has gotten over $10 million from these large NGO networks, including the Neville Roy Singham Network, Indivisible, National Lawyers Guild, CTUL, the Council on American Islamic Relations Minnesota, CARE, Minnesota 350, Voices for Racial Justice, on and on. Like I said, over $60 million just according to the latest 990 disclosures.
$60 million, 14 different groups. That sounds like a pretty broad ecosystem here. Where's this money coming from? I mean, how is it flowing to these groups? Do you have any sense? So
we've built a database that contains hundreds of thousands of rows from grants from networks like the Soros Network, the Arabella Funding Network, as mentioned, the Neville Roy Singham Funding Network, many others, Tides, the Ford Foundation Network, the Rockefeller Funding Network, these massive NGOs that have billions of dollars to spend on all kinds of coordinated protest or, in this case, riot activity.
By the way, Reid Hoffman, who's the number one guy mentioned some 2,600 times in the Epstein emails, has given $100 million to Democrat causes. He is the founder of LinkedIn, among other things. So
if you still have a LinkedIn account, I got rid of mine 3-4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Maybe even longer than that. But if the only way for you to conduct business is to have a LinkedIn account, something's wrong.
Yeah, get rid of it. Okay.
Get rid of your account.
Meanwhile, the Somalis up in Minnesota keep on keeping on. They claim the state of Galmudug in Minnesota is now operating.
Welcome to Galmudug, state of Somalia.
This guy seems to believe that the Somalian government claimed some land in Minnesota and it's theirs to govern now. This meeting's in Minneapolis, Minnesota, at the Safari restaurant, which is associated with the Feeding Our Future scam.
The restaurant claimed to serve more than 3.9 million meals to children in a 19-month span, even using Congresswoman Ilhan Omar in a promotional video in an alleged attempt to show legitimacy.
Farhiya Khalif Mahmoud. Farhiya is my leader. We'll lead this country together. When I say now, she became state representative Galmudug.
I want you to understand what this guy's saying. He's saying that Farhia Khalif is his leader. He is a member of the Galmudug state, not a U.S. citizen. He's a Galmudug state citizen in Minneapolis. Farhia Khalif is his government leader. This is the definition of an insurrection. She was appointed as the governor of the Galmudug state of North America, and this is the celebration that they had, and everybody was like, yeah, Somalia.
Welcome to Galmudug, state of Somalia. We're all together on this one. We've been living here for long. We're going to lead this country together.
I mean, there was no insurrection on January 6th. That is an absolute in-your-face insurrection. Meanwhile, if that's not enough, this is going to make your blood boil. Ilhan Omar she's a parasite.
I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm getting real sick and tired of this little lady.
The idea that this is a white nation that needs to be preserved is a fascinatingly disgusting view, because this country is one for the many.
Let me tell you something, bitch. Nobody's saying America has to be one skin color, but every nation on earth has a culture worth protecting. Funny how preserving identity is beautiful everywhere else. Japan does it, Mexico does it, even Somalia does it. But when America does it, it's disgusting. This ain't about no race. You snuck into this country and now you're trying to erase standards and history. America is an idea. And ideas only survive when people are brave enough to stand up and defend it. If every nation deserves an identity, then why is America the exception? We're not just gonna let you come up in here and switch up the rules to benefit only your people. So listen up, America, I need you to listen good. We need to vote these people out of power. Because you see what they're starting to do. They're starting to talk mess. They think they're gonna take over something. Because when a country isn't allowed to remember who it is, that means someone else will decide for it. And history shows that never ends peacefully.
Yeah, I dig this guy. You need to follow him on social media, especially
Westcott.
on X.
Westcott, America. Okay. Yep. So a lot of people are frustrated, not only with the DOJ, but obviously with judges. I mean, these rogue judges are just totally insane. So Chuck Schumer is saying the quiet part out loud. 235 judges were put in just last year, and that's the auto pen. Pam Bondi, where are you on that? So he essentially said there's an assault on our democracy. No, you know what, Sherlock. And he admits that he's doing it.
You worked with this dude.
Oh,
What'd you call him?
We called him Lens Lice. Whenever you had a camera, there was Chuck Schumer. Okay. The seditious six got overturned. Real estate with Tish James and others in Virginia all got, not going to be heard. There were 600 lawsuits since January 20th of 2024. 152 of them filed 1 minute past noon after Trump won by none other than Norm Eisen.
Eye drops fixes AMD, right? Nope. What about carrots? Nope. Eye injections? Nope. Watch this and see crystal clear again. My eye doctor told me I'd be blind.
And Schumer openly admits to weaponizing the judicial system.
The following video clip is brought to you in part by the Complete Lice Treatment Kit. Now you can rid yourself of unsightly lens lice politicians such as Chuck Lens Lice Schumer. Not available to New York residents. Why? Because you are dumb enough to keep voting him into office.
There are those who believe that we are, in real time, living through an assault on the constitutional order. Do you believe that we are in a constitutional crisis right now?
Yes, our democracy is at risk because Donald Trump shows that he wishes to violate the laws in many, many different ways. The good news here is we did put 235 judges, progressive judges not under the control of Trump last year on the bench, and they are ruling against Trump time after time after time.
Lens lice.
So he admits that it's not Trump that's doing the illegal stuff. It's him. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention with the Somali thing, there's a whole list circulating on the internet that shows a gazillion countries where they have voter ID. There's one country that doesn't have absolute voter ID. Guess which one it is?
Survey says the United States of America.
But guess what country just added voter ID to their new elections?
I'm going to say Somalia.
Bang, 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 bang. You are correct, sir. Oh, the hypocrisy. This is just totally insane.
Got a new bumper coming up on the next segment, you guys. Pay attention to this one, all you Eagles fans. We'll be right back.
falls to us again to ensure that President Biden and Vice President Harris are reelected.
We're going to stop the destruction of this country with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance in the White House and an America First Congress that's going to have his back this time.
The whole nation looks to us again to elect Kamala Harris and turn the page on Donald Trump.
First thing we're going to do is going to secure that border. We're going to stop American families from losing sons and daughters to these illegals.
Mike Collins, great job you're doing.
Hey, everybody. You guys know with Cowboy Logic, we don't take any sponsors without fully vetting them and checking them out. Sugar Creek Goods is one of those companies that we have partnered with for a number of years. They're big supporters of the Jan 6 community, and we appreciate not only the fact that they do that, but they make great American-made products. SugarCreekGoods.com. Don't forget that. We've got the Cowboy Logic collection that they designed specifically for Donna and me. Tack Room, Barn Party, and Silver Fox, along with the Silver Fox Body Butter. Let me tell you guys about the Silver Fox, okay? That scent. My mom, when she passed away, I had one bottle of cologne that she bought me years before. I still had some in it. I hung on to that. I've had it all these years. She died in 2005. I sent that cologne to Sugar Creek Goods, and I said, can you emulate that smell? So I'll never forget it. This is the product of that. This is the result. Sugar Creek Goods, Silver Fox, and the Silver Fox Body Butter. They nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. It's the same thing. It's like my mom's in the room with me. SugarCreekGoods.com. Promo code 1776 gets you a big discount. And if you pick up the Cowboy Logic collection, Tack Room soap, Barn Party soap, and the Silver Fox soap, along with the Silver Fox Body Butter, she'll send proceeds to Stand in the Gap for you. Support the J6ers. Support our sponsors. Go to SugarCreekGoods.com.
Hotel Trump, California. I love it.
You like that? You like that?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
Glenn Fry, though, may you rest in peace. That was actually
Happy
Glenn Fry's
Valentine's
body.
Day, baby.
You too.
Hey, Donna.
Hotel California was 1977.
Hey, Donna.
Do I feel old? What?
Will you be my Valentine?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, baby.
I will.
Woo.
All right, we need to make elections
Gonna have date
great
night
again.
tonight.
Yep, we are. We're going to make elections great again. That would be great. Now, do you remember last week or so, Donald Trump posted, well, you know what? I don't have to wait for this SAVE Act. I'm going to just go ahead and do it myself. Well, there is a thing he can actually do. It's called the Critical Infrastructure Act, and if I could find my notes, I could tell you what it is. But Jovan Hutton Pulitzer talks about it a lot. Essentially, what it does. Where are my notes here?
Isn't it amazing while you're looking for those notes? Isn't it amazing all the good press that all of a sudden Jovan's getting now?
Yeah,
everybody seems to be going, "Hey, Jovan." He seems to know what he's talking about. He might have the receipts.
Yeah, he might have these receipts. But out in Maricopa County, we're still not sure what's going on there. But it's Critical Infrastructure Act and includes databases. Now, this was put in place already. It's already there. I think in 2017 it was put in. So therefore, Trump doesn't have to wait for Congress. What it essentially does is it's like a bad credit card. You have no credit if you have a crappy vote. So you have to cancel the credit card. So what does he do? He cancels all of the essential registrations. So the entire country gets wiped and everybody has to re-register to vote. That's, in a nutshell, that's kind of what it is. But he can do it right now, and he doesn't have to wait for Congress, which would be awesome. 32 states already have voter ID. Of course, 18 of them that don't make you show ID are red states that Kamala Harris won. And then John Ossoff, what does he do? He gets up there and he says, I don't want voter ID. I'm not, going to have the SAVE
John
Act.
Ossoff.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, John, we go into our little precinct to vote. They recognize us from the show, and I still got to put my ID out there.
Yep. And
Come on, John.
Which Ossoff had to do when he voted. But then to get into one of his fundraisers, he's making you show ID. I mean, these people are such hypocrites.
What a hypocrite.
Speaking of hypocrites, I love the way...
The truth is, fat isn't the enemy at all. Heard of the keto diet? It's all about eating the right fats to trick your body into max burning stored fat to slim down quickly. Of course, it's nearly impossible to see. And here's the rub. Even if you followed it perfectly, it still won't work the same way for everyone. Everyone's body processes fat differently. It all depends on your unique metabolic type. Now think about it. Why can some people eat nearly anything?
The leftists try to tell you that everything is, just on the up and up. When Reid Hoffman, as we said, spends $100 million to Democrat causes, including funding Indivisible, which is behind all the Tesla bombings and all of the dealerships there.
And E. Jean.
Yes. Well, he funded the E. Jean Carroll not rape case against Trump. But there's a lovely guy named Nate Friedman. We've shown him before. He's awesome. He proves it's the same people at different protests.
Nate, go away!
It's a song.
No, Nate, go away!
Everybody in the front I've seen at 10, 20 plus different protests.
The president continued to talk about this. Let me play this for you. I'll get your reaction.
They actually have people, and it's hard to get them. They're all paid people. Most of these people are paid.
Oh, David, what's up, man? I didn't recognize you. Jenny. Jenny, how are you? Oh, Julie, what's up, Julie? Good to see you again. You're the leader of the People's Forum. You got $20 million from Roy Neville Singham to protest. Can I ask why you don't want to speak with me right now? Do you deny that you got $20 million to protest? You don't deny that?
Where do they find these people?
What do you think about the people of Venezuela celebrating on the streets?
What?
What do you think about that?
I mean, at the end of the day, I stand with the people of Venezuela against U.S. imperialism.
They're the worst looking people I've ever seen.
Can I ask how the PSL is involved with this protest?
You know they're paid when they have brand new, beautiful printed signs by like the highest quality printer.
They put this together pretty fast.
And you have a woman, free Maduro.
I'm just fed up. I think we need more people out here.
Free Maduro.
We should not be in Venezuela right now.
Why do you want them freed?
The right way to do it is not by doing illegal crimes yourself.
What is the right way to do it?
I can't tell you the right way to do it, but right now what I know is that this is not the right way.
I don't know, but he should be free. Oh, she reads the sign.
Party for Socialism and Liberation. The PSL is funding this. The PSL is putting out these signs because it's not about Venezuela. It's about instituting socialism throughout this country. That's why all of these, you see Answer Coalition is at the bottom of these, PSL.
So the PSL, Answer Coalition, and the People's Forum all work together to organize almost every protest you see in New York City. You can recognize the Answer Coalition by the yellow signs, and the black and white ones are PSL. AnswerCoalition.org. It stands for Act Now to Stop War and End Racism. They were founded over 20 years ago, and their primary fiscal sponsor is the Progress Unity Fund. The Progress Unity Fund gets their money from the Tides Foundation. Now, guess who gave the Tides Foundation $25.8 million in just 1 year? George Soros. Now, the PSL's fiscal sponsor is the Progress Unity Fund, and we know from last episode that the sponsor of the Progress Unity Fund is the Tides Foundation. George Soros gave the Tides Foundation $40 million. Now, they don't hide their love of terror either by just putting Hezbollah flags on their flyers.
And you mentioned that he's following Hitler's playbook. As a Jew, I would love to know about that because I wouldn't want another Hitler. So how is he following Hitler's playbook?
So she's all done with you there, Nate.
Yeah, you think? And Neville Roy Singham, remember that name. He is a tech mogul that sold his business for close to $1 billion from San Francisco area. But he's an avowed lover of communism and Marxism, and he moved to China. And his wife is one of the founders of Code Pink. He's doing a lot of that, too. This is huge. A lot of the Epstein files are coming out, too. The real big name, besides what I mentioned earlier about Reid Hoffman, and follow Kaneko the Great, Data Republican. They are really, really on the top of all this stuff. So Reid Hoffman's under question, big time. And Kathy Rumler. And you might remember her.
The fixer.
She is the fixer of Obama. She was Obama's lawyer, big time. Then she goes to Goldman Sachs. Frequent and disgusting communications were released on the Epstein files between the two of them. Again, she was the chief legal officer at Goldman Sachs. And John Solomon is also reporting that G.W. Bush's DOJ knew about Epstein and willingly didn't do anything about it. In fact, Rumler called him Uncle Jeffrey. So she has resigned. So things are starting to crack a little bit. Meanwhile, I want to switch gears because God forbid anything happens to you if you got to go in the hospital. Okay, now we had our Dr. X-ray on last week, but this has just come out. Beware the small print.
Yeah.
The word vaccine is doing a disappearing act.
Okay, so let's get this straight. What we think is that hospitals are not allowed to vaccinate patients without them even knowing. Well, something very alarming is happening inside the medical system, and most people have no idea. The word vaccine is quietly disappearing from hospital consent forms. Instead, it's being replaced with a broad, vague category called biologics or biogenics. Under this new classification, a hospital can technically administer vaccines or other biological products without you ever giving explicit consent. Insiders are reporting that new surgical and hospital consent forms don't list specific treatments anymore. They don't say vaccine, they don't say injection, they simply say biologics or biogenics, a category so wide it can include almost anything made from living organisms and their byproducts. And what's the scariest part? Most people sign these forms without even reading them because they trust the system, because they're in pain, overwhelmed, or seconds away from being put under anesthesia. So now you have a setup where a patient can go in for a routine procedure, sign a consent form filled with vague terminology, go unconscious, and wake up having received something they never directly approved. No medical system should ever be allowed to hide procedures behind intentionally unclear language. Let's spread this message because most people have no idea this is happening.
All right, Ron, let's go ahead and stop this. Come back to us if you don't mind. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to show you this. I'm letting Ron have time to get it loaded in. Ron, I think what we should do is go out with this that loop screen. And so if you want to go ahead and fly that in, ladies and gentlemen, here's what's going on. That's our website. Mm-hmm. If you go to our website, which is cowboylogic.us, in the menu across the top there, you will see COVID/vax. Then you've got a drop-down menu of other links that you can get to. You've got our protocol that we use. You've got Dr. Stella MD, Dr. Brian Artis, Dr. Lee Merritt, Tom Renz, and then vaccine refusal. This is a Word document that if you click on that will download to your computer, and then you can complete it. You can fill it out. I urge you to study it, maybe have a lawyer look at it if that's what you want. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Be prepared.
We'll be right back.
Do you ever feel it? That something is wrong with the world, like a splinter in your mind? The Matrix isn't fiction. It's real. A prison built not of walls, but of lies. I saw it young. Hollywood dreams, silicon toys, news anchors with plastic smiles. All tools. Tools to shape perception, to cage thought. Behind the curtain, puppet masters move. They don't wear uniforms, they don't need guns. They run psyops so refined, the Army's ghost unit seems quaint. These are the true threats to America, to Trump's success. You ask who they are. If I told you, would you even believe me? Their network hums not in Congress or courts, but in the cold, sterile halls of globalist think tanks. Foundations with friendly names, but sinister goals. They fund chaos, open borders, climate hysteria, digital leashes. They write the scripts, censor the dissent, push CBDCs to track your every step. But I see through it, and so does he. Did you think the last administration was in charge? Orders signed.
Watch what happens when a 50-year-old man walks DHT naturally for just 90 days. Day 1, nothing visible yet. Just another middle-aged guy staring at his disappearing hairline. Day 30, baby hairs start appearing where there was nothing. Day 60, balding spots filling in with new...
With an auto pen while the world burned. Now Trump's returned. MAGA isn't a campaign, it's a counterattack. Knight to F3. The center seized, but the board is still crowded. Bureaucrats, media pawns, globalist bishops. They will not surrender the game, because Trump is the one variable they cannot control. Unbought, unbroken, the voice of the people. And if the people ever wake up, if they ever see the PSYOP for what it is, they'll burn the system to the ground. The real war has only just begun.
Soul to cure, wrapped in control. Lies build walls around every soul. Shame the brave, left them behind. The greatest scam of all mankind. They called it science, we called it faith. Disintegrates, careers erased. Cry it loud, rewrite the lie.
Wow. All right, manufactured consent, everybody. You guys haven't heard that song. Not sure when we're going to release it, but I think most of you will all agree when you listen to the lyrics of manufactured consent that we have survived it.
Yeah, but a very powerful bumper as well, man.
Yeah, we decided to put that with one of those Dilly meme team
Dilly's awesome.
memes that they do, and we appreciate all their great work. We just sometimes have to change it a little bit. All right. I need to explain our next guest that's coming up, because this is a very special person to me. I have worked with her, we don't even know how long, at least 10 years. And so full disclosure, we have worked together in touring, entertainer touring, okay? But we've also had amazing conversations over the past 10 years. Mayumi, please join us. How you doing, my dear?
Hey, Mayumi.
Hi.
All
Very
right.
nice to talk to you.
All right. And what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we are going to let Mayumi educate you. Because her family's from Cuba. She now lives in southern Florida. And the stories that she's going to talk about are sickening. They really are. I mean, your father. So, first of all, let's get into a little bit of the history about how your family that lived in Cuba then ended up coming here. So we can even take this whole first segment if need be. Talk about what happened from Cuba, then you were born, and then you guys came here.
Well, first, thank you so much for the invitation. We've been working together for a long time, so you guys are like a family. So, like I say it everywhere, it's like I am Cuban by birth, Japanese by heritage, and American by choice. Is that I was born in Cuba. My dad is 100% Japanese. He was born in Cuba too, but my grandparents are from Japan, both of them. And my mom is full Cuban as well. And of course, she was born there. And then we came to the United States like about 29 years ago. And now we live here freely in the United States. Our story is very interesting. When my grandparents came from Japan, they settled in Camagüey, Cuba. They had a ice cream factory, and everyone that worked with them there were Japanese that came that time, the 1930s, before the war. And then once the war hit, they put them in jail because of, the Japanese, they were Japanese. And they released my grandmother because she had 2 kids. And but my grandfather stayed in prison. And then the kids grew up. They moved to Havana, which is the capital of Cuba, to go to the university. And my dad, Castro came to power. And my dad was caught as a political prisoner. And he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. He was in for 15, and then he has like 5 years, like in probation or conditional freedom. I don't know how you call it. You have to go to a place to sign in every day. Yeah. And then he met my mom. He was about to come out of jail. So he met my mom, and it was a very nice and interesting story. They would start writing letters to each other. He was in jail. He was about to come out. And since he's Japanese, he's like this, my mom always liked Asian guys. So common friends told him, hey, I have somebody there for you that you may like, but he has a little problem. He is in jail, but he's about to come out. So I start writing letters. It's very, very romantic and very, very nice. Unfortunately, we couldn't bring those letters to the United States when we came, but everything is in their memories. And so they met, and the rest is history. Being together for almost 50 years. So very, very nice story. And then we decided to come to the United States to live in freedom. I was 17 years old when I came here. My sister was 18. So we came to this land of opportunity and to the best place to live.
All right, so hold on. I have a question here because I don't know this story. Don, and you were very familiar. Let's go back to Cuba. First of all, given what was going on in Cuba, how did your father even survive? Because so many dissidents were killed for their beliefs.
Yes. My dad is a hero. Sorry.
That's okay. Heroes are worth tears. Yes, they are. And he's still alive. Am I correct? He's still alive.
He turns 90 next month.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. See, good things come to good people. And that's the thing. You're actually lucky compared to what was going on to so many people. I knew there was some Japanese population in Cuba. I didn't realize how big it was. What made your parents, your dad go to Cuba instead of the United States right off the bat?
Well, it's very interesting. There were not a lot of big community of Japanese people in Cuba, more Chinese than Japanese, but very interested. My grandmother, she was a kid in Japan, and she used to see these commercials about Varadero Beach in Cuba. So Cuba was the #1 country in Latin America by the time. So she would see it on TV saying this is a great land. This is, they have the beautiful beaches. She's from the north of Japan, very cold place, snows, and very cold, nothing to do with this tropical island, So she would see these on TV and she would be very interested on exploring that land or going there on vacation. So she went, I think it was a cousin of her that went to Cuba on vacation. And when she came back, she was like, hey, do you want to go to a place? It's a great place. It's
You're not going to believe what this shampoo does to your hair. I've seen men go from this thin, patchy, receding to this visibly thicker, stronger, healthier hair in just a few months. I'm Mandy, trichologist with almost 10
perfect place to have a life, make money, so she goes I'll go. So by the time she was 16, 17 years old.
And this was in the 30s. This was in the 30s, right?
In the 30s.
I mean, I'd love to go to Cuba. It's beautiful, but, with the regime that's been there my entire life, you really can't.
Right.
All right, so your grandparents, we got a minute before we got to go to break. Your grandparents came over to Cuba in the 30s.
Yes.
And when was your dad? Your dad was born 90 years ago, so he was born right around the time they came.
36.
Okay. Okay.
In 1936,
And then you were born in Cuba, and you came here when you were 17, and we're going to all figure out how old you are at this point.
Well, we got to figure out how you got here.
What year did you come to the United States?
1997.
97. Okay,
January 16th.
There's the chronological timeline, everybody. You can put it together. 30s, 36 is when her dad was born. She was born at some point in Cuba, came here 17 in 97. When we get back, we're going to get into what it's like to be the daughter of a political prisoner. No es frio. We'll be right back.
ink on the indictment, still wet with your blood. Judges on payroll, gavels banging like a flood. Solitary key, just 23-hour black. They want us to crack, but we breathe through the crack. Let us till my daughter smuggle past the gods. Tell mommy I'm innocent, carved in the yard. You burn the flag of freedom on a global stage. We'll torture narrative in a white hot rage. And you feel the tremor in the prison yard ground. 1,500 souls still making that sound.
All right, still there, everybody. Welcome back to Cowboy Logic. Still there. A reminder. We created this song and released it with the intent of raising money that will go to Stand in the Gap to help J6ers rebuild their lives. We're not taking a penny of revenue off this song. We're not taking any money to recoup expenses in making the song. Every penny that is generated from Still There will go to Stand in the Gap Foundation. And we need your help because streaming it doesn't make any money.
Yeah.
It makes very little money. Downloading it makes very little money, but a heck of a lot more than streaming. So do me a favor, whether you like the song or not, if you're back in J6, download Still There by my last name, Newen. And it's a song that we created after talking to J6ers behind bars for 4 years. What you hear in that song, the lyrics in that song, are conversations that we have had for 4 years while they were locked up.
And still there, as of the airing of this show now, Tina Peters is still there, over 500 days in prison. And we're talking about political prisoners.
All right.
And this is exactly Mayumi's story.
Mayumi, let's bring you back in. I'm 65 years old.
He's on Medicare now.
I'm on Medicare now. And I don't know why the two of you think that's funny, but I'll laugh along too.
Because you don't think it's ever going to happen to you.
Now, let me ask you this. Never once in my entire lifetime did I think that there would be political prisoners that were American citizens being held as prisoners by their own government, and it's happening.
Yeah.
And maybe I was blind to it before. But I do know that since 2021, it's been happening in America. You know all too well, and you probably saw this coming, and you can identify it a heck of a lot better than I can because you lived it. What was it like, and what is it like for A, you to grow up in a communist country, B, have your dad be a political prisoner, C, come to America and all of a sudden see what Cuba was a blueprint for happening in America now?
Yeah, actually, me and my sister is a year older, we were educated, to put it in a way, that we knew my dad was a political prisoner when we were 16 years old. My sister was 17. We were about to come to this country. The reason is that we didn't understand, or any child wouldn't understand, what a political prisoner would be. When we were in Cuba, we can hear everywhere the government and the regime talking about these bad guys that we don't want in this country because they're traitors. So we are very thankful for my mom and my dad to make the decision not to tell two little kids, two young girls, who your dad really was, because what I was going to do, when you're 4, 5, 7 years old, that you're in school talking about all these bad guys and your dad is your hero, which they are wrong, and because your dad did something good, but for them it was bad. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, so they decided not to tell us who my dad really was until we were old enough to understand what was that about, and that we said, I remember the night my dad sat with me and my sister and said, listen, we need to talk to you guys. First, I know you guys don't know that I am a political prisoner, okay? And we are leaving the country. finally, okay? We have to leave because there's no future here, and we want you guys to have a future and be somebody that here is impossible. You can't do.
Watch what happens when a 50-year-old man blocks DHT naturally for just 90 days. Day 1.
That. So I remember when we were little, my mom used to tell us, hey, if somebody asks you, if you go to church, we are Catholics, we still go to church every Sunday. My mom said, if somebody asks you at school or whatever, if you go to church, do not answer them. Just tell them, talk to my mom and my dad, and they will tell you that how bad it was. We were very, we have a person constantly looking out for what we were doing in my house. I remember stories where my mom was saying when my sister was born, everyone come to the house to see the new kid, and unfortunately my grandfather was also dying there, my mom's dad, and a lot of people would come to the house, to be with her, and we have these people come to the house and say, hey, why is there a lot of people in this house? We can't have many people here. What are you talking about? What are you doing? Because they I guess the thing that planning something out because of my dad was a political prisoner. He was not in favor of the country, so any suspicious thing they'll go to him, say, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Be careful, So
Big Brother is watching.
And this was after he got. This was after he was released, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And after
yes.
you
He
were
was-
born.
Correct. Yeah, he got released a few months after he met my mom. So
And I would say at that point, he immediately started making babies, right?
Hold on. Will you stop? All right.
Listen, he was in for 15 years in his 20s, so he deserved it.
He was ready. He was ready.
Okay, so
he was ready. And they didn't wait.
How were you able to leave Cuba, though? How did they let you do it, and how did you get
the
here?
thing is that since he was a political prisoner, of course, the country doesn't want you there. So we have to go to the American embassy and ask for a visa.
Asylum.
Okay, a political asylum visa, and of course they gave it to him. But interesting enough, it took us like almost 2 years in order for.
Tired of your devices spying on you? Discover privacy-focused technology.
One of the products that I use a lot in my practice, and I know it's real.
Because they didn't want us to go. Actually, I remember I was in high school in 11th grade, and my mom, she said, we have to go to school until the last minute because we don't know, how long we're going to be in this process. It could be tomorrow, but it can take 2 years. So I used to go to school. I finished 11th grade. So I went to pick up, my grades and my final things. And when I got to school, they gave me everything. It said, you are out of the school. We cannot keep you here because we know you're leaving. So school ended like in June, and we didn't come until January. So you have this kid that was thrown out of school because he was leaving, I was leaving the country, and that's it. So
you had a major summer vacation. Boy, I mean, at that age, that's pretty fun. But the thing is, you were totally uprooted. I mean, you were very well established as a 16 or 17, 18-year-old. And to pull that all up and to come here, and for your father and mother to have to relocate like that had to be very difficult.
It was very difficult, especially my dad was almost 60 years old. I mean, to start fresh, to start new in a country that you don't speak the language. We have to learn English here. It's totally new. Everything is new. Thank God, and that we, as soon as we came here, we started going to school. My dad got a job. It was very good. We have our aunt and my grandmother here already. My dad's sister, she flew out of Cuba in 1979. She went to Venezuela. She was there for a couple of years, like 3 or 4 years, and then she came to the United States, and we are lucky enough to have her here as well. So she helped us a lot. When my dad and my mom decided it was about time to come here, she was like, we've been waiting for this moment.
That's a good thing she didn't stay in Venezuela in hindsight. When we come back from the break, I want to get into your thoughts about people today who are basically bashing this country that gave them so much, which is totally insane. And obviously how you had to pretty much get completely acclimated to a whole new thing. And they didn't have press, 2 for Spanish anymore back then. You had to learn English, and that was it.
Out. And hey, I'm going to talk about Cafe Colada when we get back. Liquid cocaine. Mayumi will attest to that. We'll be right back.
She's got legs. She knows how to use them. She never begs. She knows how to choose them.
Patriots Relief, your America First CBD company. We are Christian, conservative, and committed to helping you feel your best. Are you tired of chronic pain holding you back? It's time for a change. Experience the remarkable healing properties of CBD, expertly designed to alleviate pain and promote internal balance. Patriots Relief is here for you. Visit our website or call now. Use your promo code to unlock exclusive savings. Patriots Relief, helping you get out of pain and live life to the fullest.
You are one heck of a drummer, Donna Fiducia.
I wish.
I'm very impressed with those drumming skills. All right, before we get back into the interview, who do we have to say hello to, Donna?
Dana.
Why do we have to do that?
Because we do.
Why do we have to do that?
Because he's awesome.
He's awesome, and if we don't do that, he whines the entire show. So, Dana, we love you, brother.
Dana
and the Barn Party.
TK, AZ Sarah, there's a whole bunch.
Pick up your Cowboy Logic drumsticks. They are personalized. And
next week I'll do the list. Next week I'll do the list of everybody.
That'll take 2 shows. All right, we got to get back into this with Mayumi. Mayumi, come back. Chica! Oh, look, she's got her drumsticks. I am so impressed.
Chopsticks. I mean, well, your last name is Hasegawa. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm thinking Mariel boat lift at this point, which was 1980. And your sister was only a year old. So your mom is like, no, I'm not doing this. Because that's what Castro did. He emptied out all the prisons and sent everybody over here. But you were able to come in, it was a good 16, 17 years later. I think it's just amazing you were able to get out of there. You didn't come in a boat. You were able to fly here?
Yes, we flew. We have to, of course, apply for a visa. political asylum visa. It took us a couple of years to resolve everything, but finally, we could get out. Even until the last minute, the government didn't want us to leave. They said, we're gonna do whatever we want with you until the very last minute. So it took us, I guess, a little longer than regular to get out, but finally, thank God, we could get out of there. And
All right,
come
so
to this beautiful
here's the thing. I want to get into the fact that our rights here are slowly but surely disintegrating, which is exactly what happened, well, almost overnight, I guess, with Castro. But I mean, the first thing that I realized was the Elian Gonzalez raid. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they raided a private home, and you were there for that.
Yep. We used to go every day to be outside rooting for him and for his rights. And it was very devastating to see how they took this little boy back there to that prison, which we call now the prison island, because it's a big prison to be over there. It's very sad, and it's very sad to see how this land of opportunity and this land of freedom, as we are supposed to be here looking for freedom and be able to express yourself and be able to really say what you want and have the government back you up on that as well, because that's what happened in Cuba. That's what happened to my dad, that for him raising his voice, or for him saying, I'm not with this government, what he's going to do is not good for the country. I don't agree with him. He got prison for 20 years. And
But
that
with,
is, really...
with the Jan Sixers, we saw it on a regular basis. It's happening more and more and more all around the country. Various people with possibly financial attacks on them and thrown in prison because, in my opinion, in a few cases we've had, with the government trying to take over people's businesses, which is what Zoran Mondami wants to do in New York City. Oh, you want to leave the city? No, we're going to take your business over. I mean, this is total, complete Marxism, communism. I mean, what do you say? I mean, what do you think on the news when you see these white liberal Karens saying how much they hate this country that have no idea what it's like in other countries?
That's it. They have no idea what it's like in other countries, especially in Cuba. All these people said, no, it's very easy to live here eating McDonald's, saying communism is good, socialism is good. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. We're not all equals. We cannot, take from the rich to give to the poor kind of thing, in the sense of, why do I have to work constantly to be, whoever I want to be and to have the things that I want to have, and then you come because we all have to be equal, give it to the one that doesn't want to work, that doesn't work like that, and doesn't work. Socialism doesn't work, and it's very hard. That's what happened to Cuba. When Castro came to power, he knocked on doors, says, this land that you have is not yours anymore. So that's why a lot of people have to leave back in the 50s, because, you were rich, you have your lands, and all of a sudden this guy comes, oh, this is not yours anymore. Even with religion, everyone, Cuba, that were Catholic, this guy came down and says, you can't believe in God anymore. I am your God now. And I remember, the old houses of our grandparents that had the Jesus Christ image, in the houses. As soon as you open the door, you see this Jesus Christ image. When he came to power, says, you can't have that. So you have to have my picture now, So it's like, that's why when we were leader, that we still go to church. My mom was telling us, listen, if somebody asks you, don't respond, because it was forbidden to go to church. The stories that my mom would tell us that in her town, they could go to mass with only 4 people. They had to close the doors and everything because you could go to church, because that's what the government told you. The church is forbidden. You can't be there. And if you go to church, you can be arrested. kind of thing,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like very sad, very
And we're
sad.
seeing it here. We're seeing it here now.
During the what they call the Summer of Love, 2020, when many of our major cities were burning to the ground, we saw a lot of youth running around with shirts that said Che Guevara on it. I know the answer because you and I talked about this, but how do you feel about that when you see some mindless numbnut wearing a Che Guevara T-shirt?
It's really sad. It's really sad. I try to educate whoever comes my way, you know, with one of those shirts or simply asking, you know, things. I work with a lot of Mexicans that they don't know, you know, they see this guy as a hero, and I try to educate them, saying, hey, do you know why you're wearing this? You know who you're wearing? You know, so try to educate those people first. See, you know, what are you having in your chest? You know, this is a guy that you shouldn't be proud of. You know,
he killed. He killed all of Castro's. He killed all of Castro's adversaries. I mean,
even if it's somebody from Mexican descent, you know, I could sort of understand why that could be a confusing thing for them. But when you've got a white liberal teenage puke wearing one of these things, it's beyond me. I mean, that's just stupidity.
I want to ask something, though, in this last time right here, because of what's going on with Venezuela, and Venezuela is the money for Cuba that's fueling what's going on there. Do you know people in Cuba? Are you seeing what's going to happen, and what do you think is going to happen in Cuba's future now? Do you think it might finally open up?
Yeah, my hope is this ends soon. Unfortunately or fortunately, we still have family in Cuba. I do have a lot of family in Cuba. That is sad to see, you know, what's going on. Cuba right now, Cuba is up to here already. That's it. We can, you know, wait anymore. We can't handle things anymore. So something has to happen, and I hope, you know, everything gets to an end really, really soon. We're just praying that it's as smooth as what Venezuela went through, that nothing major happened, you know, no fatalities and things. But we're looking for that day that Cuba is free again, and hopefully within a couple of months, to be honest. The only thing that I say, like the only thing that worries me is that, you know, the way it will be done, because, you know, like I say, we do have family there still.
No collateral damage. No collateral damage. They need to go in there and deal with this. Marco Rubio, I hope you were listening to my humor.
I think that's what he's always wanted all along. Thank God.
Marcos,
Prayers.
We appreciate you.
I need to go to La Carreta with my cazuela going king, 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 and finally, thank God for that day.
That would be
Mayumi,
great.
thank
God
you. We
bless
love you,
man.
girl. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you learned something from that. We'll be right back.
Confidence that a good pickup man brings to an event. Nobody will ever give him credit for it. Thousands and thousands of miles driven, hundreds and hundreds of hours of being a good steward, and a horseman will never be recognized. But that one instant when he might have saved your son, your brother, your friend, by being in the right place at the right time.
Wiping out narco terror, President Trump and J.D. Vance. America they love. They're protecting our shores. You're not welcome here. We're declaring war. No more drugs.
The drug boat. It's so.
The drug boats.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know,
I happen to like all of our bumpers.
Well, fentanyl use is way, way down. And the mainstream media won't even give Trump credit for that. They're saying, well, it's because everybody has Narcan. You know, Narcan's more readily available. It's just ridiculous. Okay, let's
hey, it is in prisons.
Yeah, well, that's true. Okay, let's get down to business here in the state of Georgia. Okay, this is the Georgia special, I guess we should call it a special election. Let's bring on Jim Tully, who's running for the seat that was vacated by MTG. And, Jim, welcome, first of all. This is insanity. The Georgia elections are just a mess, as we all know what happened with Fulton County. But Georgia has what's, I guess, called a jungle primary, so both sides can cross over. Tell us about your campaign and why you should stand out above like 25 other candidates.
Well, Don, thank you for having me. Unbeknownst to my wife and I, we've been preparing for this for 25 years, working in the community in various.
Watch what happens when a 50-year-old man blocks DHT naturally for just 90 days. Day one.
Capacities. When something was needed, we've always stepped up. We've developed relationship with law enforcement, city councils, county commissions, the state delegation at the Gold Dome, and the state Senate. And lo and behold, here we are. We're the most qualified. We have relationships. And plus, the congressional office sought me out. I worked for the U.S. House of Representatives for the past 2 years. So now I have federal experience and contacts there. No one else in this race can say that. They don't have that capacity. We're just blessed to be here.
One of the big problems that we, and I'm sure everybody up in Georgia 14 is seeing, is that, in 2024, the American people clearly laid out a mandate. And that mandate sent Donald Trump to Washington again for a third time. And that mandate is not being met. It's not being met because of Congress. I need to ask you, if you go to Washington, D.C. to represent the 14th of Georgia, and I know your objective and your job is to represent the people of the District 14 in Georgia, but those people had a mandate. Are you going to follow that mandate?
Absolutely. And from a perspective of not one of 435 going up into the China shop to turn everything over and wrestle rhinos and push on the establishment, we're going to put the Georgia delegation back together, put a team back together and approach leadership, Mike Johnson, and say, Georgia's united. We need to get the rest of these yahoos united and move forward as a nation. Yeah. None of these single personalities. This is not this game we're playing. We're playing for America for keeps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a biggie. And Georgia is not a blue state. It's just not. But this is a jungle primary. I know our friend Sally Grubbs is working very hard. She's the first vice chair now of the Republican State Committee. She's worked herself up. She's the woman who, and her video went viral, addressing the state Senate back in 2020, saying how she saw shredding trucks in Cobb County. And she ended up working herself up to Cobb County chair, and now this, and she's on the election board. But again, unfortunately, no changes yet for this particular election. We have an open primary where Democrats, a jungle primary too, where Democrats can, cross over and vote in the Republican side. It's insane.
Yeah, it's another facet of the messed up elections in Georgia. Sally and I were both elected to the Georgia Republican Party at the same time back in 2020 and started our service in 2021. She's magnificent in her facets of election integrity. And little old Jim has worked his magic, too, behind the scenes, working for the team to get this FBI warrant in Fulton County. Jim had his hand in that, too. We silently moved to make life better for Georgians. Great. And I love Sally. She went to Marietta High School. I went to McEachern. We grew up next door to each other.
Yeah, and I went to Northside. Hey, Jim, do me a favor. We got about 5 minutes left. Our viewers are going to want to hear from your mouth your platform. What are you going to bring to D.C. that's going to not only benefit Georgia 14, the state of Georgia, and the United States. Talk about your platform.
Right on. So we're purely foundational. We are families first. We understand that. I call myself a Christian American foundationalist because we got to get back to those things that were important to us when our grandparents had a hand in our rearing. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. Respect in the classroom, respect for law enforcement, just general moral character. And that has, through these niceties that have been oppressed across this nation, we've lost focus of who we are as a society. So my number one focus is education. And I hear people talking about we need to disband and remove the federal Department of Education. Well, we can't send $8 billion of taxes back to Georgia. We need that federal funding, and it needs to be focused funding. We need to reinstate literacy in K through 3. We need grandma and grandpa math in K through 3. We got to educate our children.
Yeah. What's very disheartening is seeing these kids getting brainwashed, like with these anti-ICE protests, pulling them out of school, when in many of these cities, especially up in Minneapolis, I think the rate of proficiency is about 20%. I mean, the schools are a total failure. All right. The niceties you talk about, to me, emboldens Sharia law. Talk about your case. I mean, there is a state senator, Greg Dolezal, who's introducing SB 486, which is similar to what they're trying to do in Texas, basically outlaw Sharia law.
Mm-hmm. Islam and Islamists are not compatible with Christian American freedom. If we look at it around the world, Islam is not compatible with a free world structure. They are looking to remove our children from parents. They're looking. It's a death religion. It's a religion of death. Yeah. And it's incompatible with us, our education system, our capitalist system, and moreover, one nation under God. Yeah. If
they follow Sharia, the strict Sharia law, otherwise you're an apostate too, just like the rest of us infidels.
Jim, let me ask you this: you've got a very important primary in a very crowded field coming up over the next 3-4 weeks. Well, first of all, let everybody know when the important election is and when early voting starts. But how are you going to run this campaign? I mean, you got a lot of square miles in District 14.
Yeah. So the early voting has already begun. Election day is March 10th. You need to make sure that you vote. That's a privilege in America. The vote. It's a responsibility that not a lot of us take advantage of, and we see that we get what we pay for if we don't put our money in the kitty, and that's the vote. We're taking this election to the front porch. I'm not sending mailers. I'm not doing TV commercials that folks are throwing in the trash. We're not putting trash out there. We're putting real ideas in front of real people, and we're going to have a personal relationship with this district. This is a bottom-up effort to put Georgians back in the forefront. This is families first. It's Georgia first, and then America first. This is who we are. This is who Northwest Georgia is, and it's what they desire. Yeah. They don't want somebody to posture for them.
It's an R+19 district, 56% blue collar. Talk to those workers who are hardworking, tax-paying citizens.
Yeah, well, I feel it too. My wife and I have worked all of our lives. We've got a modest home in Paulding County. She just told me this morning that we got about another year and a half and it'll be paid for. Our children are grown. We feel the pressures of insurance, property tax, fuel cost, grocery cost, and another platform of mine is American energy. We need to unleash the might of American industry and the energy sector, where clean fuel, clean electricity, and diesel costs come down. When those fuel costs come down, America prospers because everything we touch becomes less expensive.
Yeah, diesel's absolutely
never has
huge.
Made any sense to me why diesel costs more than unleaded, but hey.
Yeah.
I'm just wearing a cowboy hat.
Obama's the one who did that. Jim Tully, FORGeorgia.com. Jim Tully, FORGeorgia.com. And Jim_Tully on social media. Jim, you're crisscrossing all across Georgia 14. Again, early voting has already started. Go ahead. You got half a minute.
You'll see me. I'll be in your neighborhood. I'm going to be on your street and your main street. Hey, if everybody just pray for me, I would love that, because I'm going to pray for you. I love you. God bless you. Thank you, Donna and Don, for your time. And God bless Northwest Georgia and America.
It's totally important for the evangelicals to go out. That's always been a problem, and the gun owners. Again, Jim_.
I don't want to live without it. It does so many good things for you. I had celiac disease.
Tully on social media. We'll be back right after this.
You stole first steps, first games, first I love you. Turn family photos into evidence for the crew. Every bedtime story now ends with the cage. Your scalpel cut deep, we bleed rage. Can you hear the children crying daddy's name? Can you hear the children crying mommy's name? Can you hear the children crying our names? Can you hear the children? Can you hear the children? Still there, though the world turned its back. 1,500 ghosts in the aftermath. They can lock the doors, they can silence the song, but the fire in our hearts keeps.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Still there.
Still there.
Again, if you haven't heard me say this, Donna and I wrote this song. It's based on 4 years of conversations with J6ers when they were behind bars. Every bit of the lyrics came from conversations that we had, which is a fun way to write a song.
And one that is not still there, thank God, would be one Thomas Webster.
Yep. Tom, brother Tom.
There he is.
Man, do we love you like a brother? We really do, bud. We really do.
Love you all too.
Tom and I were the New Yorkers. But
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, you were like the first. You were the groundbreaker. So tell us a little bit of the background.
You freaked everybody else out.
Yeah, it was your fault, quite honestly.
And you know what I mean. You know what I mean when I say that, because you get hammered, ladies and gentlemen, on a ridiculous sentence.
Yes.
And he was in C2B with everybody else, and they saw what happened to Tom Webster, and they're like,
uh-oh, we better take a plea.
Yeah.
And that's because initially, and we've spoken to your wife so many times, that you all thought this is a normal situation. I'm going to show my situation of what happened on January 6th. I'm going to show you the facts, and a decent jury is going to find me innocent because I am. And that, 99,
or even a bench trial.
Yeah.
You assumed that it would be handled the right way.
99.9%.
Why don't you remind everybody of how the judicial system absolutely ruined and screwed your whole life?
Wow. It's what's really frustrating is kind of like what's unique to, it's not just unique to J6ers or President Trump or anything like that. This is how our federal justice system works. It will manipulate evidence, withhold evidence, corrupt evidence, present perjured testimony, perjured statements, and there's never any repercussions. That's the case for just about the majority of these federal cases, and we've all come in contact with these folks that are all locked up. Not all of them are innocent or perfectly, innocent or anything like that, but they certainly don't deserve, 20, 30 years in jail under, perjured or corrupted evidence or something like that. So these warrants that are being issued that are tainted or not valid, you shouldn't be able to get a conviction and put somebody away for a long period of time like that. And that's kind of like the case for us J6ers. my goodness, the amount of corrupted, perjured testimony in my cases, and along with all the other J6 cases. I mean, I, as a police officer, 20 years, I testified at trial once. I put my hand on that Bible, and it will scare, fear of God in you. I told the truth, and the person was acquitted. And, which not unique to DC, but in general, these witnesses are standing up, no Bible, no mention of God. And the saying goes, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth? I mean, and that's it. I mean, it's a moving experience to stand up and place your hand on that Bible. And I think that really, gets you
to hear, so help you God.
Yeah. Well, half of them do it on don't even do it on the Bible anymore. One of them did it on like some Disney thing or something at one point. But here's the thing. You have a military career, a stellar military career, 20 years in the NYPD. Is it 20 years? Sure. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, 20 years. Yeah.
We can tell by the accent, by the way. I just love it. Okay, but here's the...
Well, there's two... I always find frustrating is there's two videos out there with me of, one of the officer's body camera, which is, the tunnel vision of not really seeing what's going on around you and all. And then there's the security camera footage that was not revealed to me until like just a few days before my trial.
But in a way, it's Brady violations for sure.
We hustled, we hired professionals. They couldn't sync up the videos with the body, and it was a hot mess. And it's kind of like what I'm getting at. And it shows a different storyline of what's in that, of the body cam footage. What's hid in the body cam footage is the taunting, the hand gesturing, and ultimately the punch to my face. There's no way I'm doing any of that stuff to an officer without those things that happen
being
to me
provoked
that you can see.
Yeah.
You
I mean, it was like, come on, that kind of stuff.
You
right?
have a right to
I
defend
tell my
yourself.
wife, I tell most of my friends, I'm standing there holding a United States Marine Corps flag, getting taunted, provoked, and then punched in the face. I mean, no one knew me as a Marine, but hey, 0311, 1st Battalion, 6th Marines. Somebody punches you in the face while you're holding your Marine Corps flag, and
you're not going to take that.
Yeah.
But let me give more of your background here, because this is what's so annoying as somebody who worked in media in New York for a lot of decades. You were in Fort Apache, the Bronx, pretty much. I mean, that's a rough area. And you never had any civilian complaints. You never pulled your gun out. You worked, and I have this memorized because, you're like the first person we ever interviewed. You were coughing at the time, so I said to you, did you do any work at Ground Zero? You said, yeah, and it was bothering your lungs. You worked on Bloomberg's staff as his, I mean, you have a stellar career in probably the worst area, except now that Mondami's there, it'd be worse. But back at that point, that was horrible. And there's no way you deserve this. So you go and you get a lawyer for hundreds of thousands of dollars that you think is going to work for you. And that didn't even work. And it turns out that, he had family members that ended up getting cushy jobs in D.C. I mean, this is so wrong on so many levels.
Yeah. There were so many promises made to me, and I just find it so frustrating. And I made him promise me on multiple occasions to present these 302s that showed the officer was exaggerating and embellishing what happened. He basically lied to enhance the charges. I never struck the officer with the flagpole. The first time that he even acknowledges that he made contact or struck me in the face was at trial. Every other time during questioning, never mentions it or is never asked, whether or not he hit me in the face. And it's just, it's just totally shocking that my lawyer, after promising that he would do that, he told me he would have to read him his Miranda rights because, it's a crime to lie during a federal investigation. And I wish I could do it all over again and be more vocal about it, but he did not present that evidence. It would have impeached him. It would have shown that a pattern of perjury. And what was other frustrating too was I have multiple videos of this officer taunting other protesters, and my lawyer failed to show it.
It's the total opposite of what we're seeing day after day, year after year, with the Summer of Love and the George Floyd riots and now Minneapolis.
I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis when I was 22. That was in 2002. So I've had this disease for 18 years now. And the first 14 years before I started taking this.
And talk about this vest. We got a couple minutes in this segment. Talk about the vest that Judge Mehta said you were basically
emboldened
by wearing an expired vest for protection.
It carried a value of 6 years, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
He added 6 years to his sentence.
We've watched protests before January 6th involving Trump supporters down in D.C. and other places being physically attacked and even stabbed a few times. Prison style, jab, stab, beaten up, and especially in D.C., the MPD weren't exactly overly aggressive in protecting the Trump supporters down there. It was a cold day. My concern was that there would be some issues with Antifa or BLM, but I was willing to take that risk, but only by myself. At the very least, I was going to wear that because I was concerned about getting stabbed, not necessarily shot because there wasn't a pattern of any of that going on. So expired, was completely worthless as opposed to, in guarding myself against any type of rounds of being fired by guns. But so I wore it, and I got enhanced on that with these federal enhancements. You can have a sentence of a window of 6 months, but if you destroy evidence or lie or anything else, your enhancements, your sentence can go from 6 months to 25 years with enhancements. So,
and you got 6 years, 6 more years.
Yeah, 6 more years. And he said somehow I got emboldened. And Judge Mehta, I'll say his name, he said I lied about getting hit, and that really motivated me to just keep fighting.
Yeah,
legally.
Which you guys have been doing. We're going to get into that, Tom. When we get back from the break here, we're going to get more into the fight, as well as I want to talk about what it was like to be a cop in a federal prison. You're watching Cowboy Logic. We'll be right back.
How do you stay so fresh after 4 years of prison soap?
Man, it was tough, but I tell you what, the people from Sugar Creek Goods have really hooked me up.
Oh.
I prefer the Indiana sweet corn myself.
Yeah?
But for you, since to get this whole smell off you,
yeah,
I'm going to recommend the Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, it's very good.
Yeah.
And if you order from them, you can get the Cowboy Logic collection. And the donations go to January 6 defendants. And at the same time, you can use promo code 1776 and save yourself a little bit of money. And that includes something for the ladies. The body butter. Sugar Creek Goods. Whatever you need, it's just right for that time. You'll smell fresh and good. Even the horses love it.
You want to pay J6ers? You're damn right I want to pay J6ers. If you got wronged by the government, then you should be made right. That's America.
Pay them now. And you know, last night, this is, by the way, recorded on Valentine's Day. I love you, darling. Last night on, I think it was Greg Kelly, we were watching Alice Johnson, the pardon czar. Alice, Miss Johnson, please, you've got Oath Keepers and you've got Proud Boys, none of which were hit with any assault charges, 111As or 111A1Bs, that are still waiting on that pardon.
And that's huge.
They were commuted. They were not pardoned. And we've got one of them that's an Army veteran that has earned 2 Purple Hearts, and he can't get his benefits, Miss Johnson.
Yeah.
Please fast track this. Make it happen. You've got the ability to do this. And we're asking for your We're asking for your
moving
action.
at a snail's pace with this DOJ,
right.
too, if at all. That's another story.
Brother Tom.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask a question. Normally, in when you're doing media stuff, you never ask a question you don't know the answer to. But I'm about to do that.
I thought that was in the legal business.
Legal too. Okay.
Yeah.
But you were a cop for 20 years, in at times high-profile positions as a cop. You were a decorated cop. I need to ask you to rewind the tape and go back to what it was like when you, as a retired cop, went into a federal prison, because prior to that, you were in C2B with the rest of the guys, and you had allies, and you didn't have to worry about getting shanked in C2B. Okay?
Yeah.
What went through Tom Webster's mind, and I can't imagine what went through your Italian goddess's wife mind.
That was always in the back of my mind. Everywhere I traveled, all us J6ers got the diesel therapy, got flown all around the country, and I'll try to squeeze in as much as I can. County jails, I didn't have to say anything, mention who I was put in protective custody. As soon as we were transferred over to the federal system, no questions asked, I was in general pop. You figure it out on your own. So it was, and in prison politics, it's your charges and your background dictates where you sit, where you stand, where you sleep, and everything else. So it was a bit of a tough go. And, the first open pod that I walked into in Texarkana, it was a pod of about maybe 60 inmates in there, bunk beds, and it was pretty full. And as soon as I walked in, it was like, oh, we know who this guy is. I was like, So needless to say, I didn't sleep too well at night. My cellie up on top got out of the rack a few times, and I instinctively jumped up and grabbed him, thinking he was going to do something. And it took a while for things to really calm down and relax with my emotions and everything. And to my rescue came this Marine who was in there for a white collar crime. I don't want to mention his name. I know he's trying to do some legal stuff, but he went to bat for me like no one else could in there.
And he went to bat on your behalf with the other cars?
Well, yeah, everything unfortunately is race in prison, and he went and spoke to white boys and everything else, and there was a lot of pushback, and there was an Oklahoma crew that was pushing back the most, and I don't think I'll ever visit the state of Oklahoma. No offense, anyone who lives there, maybe one day.
All right, so here's the thing, though. You saw both sides. I mean, you come from NYPD, which to me is the best police units really in the country, if not the world. And then to have to see the very worst of the prison system, I can't imagine. I mean, what do you think about the prison system at this point? I mean,
it definitely needs some working. There's that whole First Step Act thing that isn't really being honored, and the early, in the federal system, it's not like the state system. They pretty much, give you 20 years. You're doing a good portion of that, and there's certain things that President Trump has done in that First Step Act program where it's not really being honored. And you really, it gets down to like a personal level with your counselor, with some of these inmates with their charges. If you don't get along with your counselor in there or something like that, they're like the gatekeeper in these places. It's not like an automatic plug in, you get out on this date. It's whether or not these folks are going to let you out or not.
Yeah. And we're seeing so much of that at this point. I wanted to ask about, I don't know if I want to ask about the appeals, but go ahead.
Well,
yeah, but I do want to say this, that I eventually the folks kind of like welcomed me into the car, so to speak. I got a seat in the TV room. I was able to sit.
I'm Dr. Sergey Sorin, medical director of the Shili Sorin Wellness Institute. I'm about to give you
in a safe area in the chow hall that was more comfortable. I was able to enjoy my food a little bit more, and eventually ended up getting along with just everyone. Certainly there was, some close calls here and there and all, but everything seemed to work out in the end. So eventually.
Did you tap on the table before you stood up after you were done eating?
Sure did.
There you go. Someday we'll explain that to you, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't even know that.
Listen, we got about 3 minutes before we got to end this out, but I want to ask you to explain, in your opinion, as your expertise, why do you think in some of these liberal cities where mayors are definitely calling the shots for city police, that they are being told to stand down and those cops are not standing up to this with regard to especially some of the ICE stuff that's going on?
Well, I think the mayors will dictate strategy and enforcement strategies and accountability. I came in the NYPD under Mayor Dinkins, and let me tell you something. It was hands off. Just drive around and just answer your calls, and that's it. I mean, it was pretty. You heard gunshots going off, and you were so logged on, trying. The log of jobs were so long that you were trying to just keep up with your 911 calls and all. But it was pretty busy. Mr. Giuliani came in and changed it all around. We thought he was crazy, asking us to address all these quality of life issues and this whole concept of broken windows, but certainly did work. I mean, New York City, late 80s, early 90s, homicide rates were 2,000. In one precinct, you can have 100 people getting murdered. That's not counting people getting injured. So it's a reflection of the mayor. Ultimately, the buck stops with him.
So it's like the military almost. They take their marching orders from the mayor, which I never realized that. Real quick, you've had a couple appeals. Talk about some of the jury, some of the people that made on the jury that the Judge Maida could care less about. You got about a minute.
We were wording our questioning as far as does this person start off on an even scale at this point if we select you to be on the jury? And each and every one of them, well, not every one of them, but quite a majority of them would say no. He does not start off on an even scale, meaning I am somewhat more guilty than innocent right from the get-go. We took a break from our lunch. And I remember my lawyer saying, we're going to run out of people with this line of questioning with the jury to impanel it. And we're going to run out of people from the list. We came back from lunch and Judge Mehta said, you can't ask that question anymore.
And some of them were in the administration, right? They worked for...
In short, you're not allowed your constitutional right to have an impartial jury because they don't have enough people in that district to create one.
In that particular list, that pool, that would have been an argument for change of venue.
And the thing is,
which was never granted.
And you were one of the first ones. And you were one of the first ones figuring it was a normal trial system and you got screwed. So everybody else said, oh, my God, I'm taking a plea.
All right.
But the bottom line is they've actually recycled some of these.
Tom, we got to close it out. You were in C2B singing that national anthem, but you got shipped out before the record was made. But you sang with your brothers. This is how we close the show, ladies and gentlemen. Hats off for all you gentlemen. Hands over your hearts, ladies and gentlemen, for the most beautiful national anthem ever sung, that by our beloved brothers in C2B. Tom, we love you, brother, and we'll see you guys next week.
God bless, Tom.
Love you all. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, words so gallantly stream. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.